focused. So you carry it forward, and then guess what? You achieve more because it's written down. And every year, my goals for the 12 months ahead are written down. Do you want to know what my goal was last year? 16 weeks holiday. Guess what? I achieved it.
Wow.
And let me tell you the other great networking thing. One day I sat down and I bumped into a guy at Leeds Amateurs, done a bit of theatre work. John said to me, I've just had a lovely holiday in the sun. I said, you're looking very tanned. He says, yes. He says, and it didn't cost me a penny. Now, being a Yorkshireman, guess which I latched onto? It didn't cost me a penny, says I. What does that mean, John? He says, well, I speak on the cruise ships. I said, what do you speak about? He says, great sporting events. I said, how do you do that? He says, there's an agent down south. And he says, and he puts all the speakers onto P&O ferries. And I said, really? I said, I'd like to do that. He said, well, before you ring him, he says, make sure you have your elevator pitch ready and your subject. And he gave me all these tips. So I went home, worked everything out, because he said he can be a bit brutal. I did that within 10 minutes. Next day, they rung me back, called me for an audition. I'd done absolutely nothing on my chosen subject, Hollywood movie stars from the golden era, and proceeded to learn Laurel and Hardy inside out and upside down over the following 6 weeks. Went into the audition that everybody told me I was going to fail. 6 weeks later, I was on a cruise ship. 4 years later, I've done 7 cruises, been around the world. I've just had a month in Canada, a month in the Middle East. I've been to the Mediterranean, and I went on a cruise ship and I met an American cruise ship. And as a result of the whole process, I've now been invited to stay on a Montana cowboy ranch owned by the family that train all the horses that come into America. And the other lady has said she'll take me to meet Mr. Obama, President Obama, and Mrs. Clinton, because they are the major party funders for the Democrats, and they live a 2-minute walk from the White House. That's networking.
That's the greatest networking story I've heard, Phil. From Eden to Obama's house. So, Phil, we know that we can either find you in Wetherspoons in Morrison's, on a cruise ship, or in the White House in person.
Or at www.philhopkins.co.uk. And I will be doing some work on my website, because I think it's all about stories now. But nevertheless, it is a networking. So please do go along and read some of my blog posts on there.
And you do have a lot to say, Phil. I think your website always needs working on, because you always have new stories.
I do.
So, Phil, it's been fantastic chatting with you. Have you got any final message you'd like to give everybody?
Well, I think probably is about go out there. It's go out of your comfort zone. So I'm going to give you one final story. Go out of your comfort zone. What is your comfort zone? Well, decide what it is and go outside it. And the final story I'm going to give you is when I decided to learn Russian. And I decided to do something which frightened the hell out of me. And I wrote to my friend who was my Russian teacher, Alexei Goncharov. And I said, Alexei, I want to fly to Russia, land at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night in the middle of winter and cross Moscow, 26 miles, but I've got to do it on public transport, and I'm going to find Godzilla's hostel, which is about half a mile outside of Red Square, and I'm going to go see the New Year in Moscow's Red Square, because I've seen it on ITM for the last 20 years and I want to be part of it. And he looked at me and he said, why are you doing this? You are stupid. And I said, well, yeah, I am, but I've got to push myself. And we spent the next 6-7 weeks learning how to pronounce the Cyrillic alphabet, every possible station on the Moscow Underground. I learned how to pronounce every one. I knew all about the Moscow Underground. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Needless to say, though it's a wonderful story, which I won't get into now, I flew to Moscow, I overcame some huge fears, but I did it. And when I got to Godzilla's hostel, £1 million couldn't have bought the feeling I had. So take yourself out your comfort zone. And however much it doesn't work out, it's not a failure. It's a learning process, a learning curve. And by going out of your comfort zone, you will achieve great things, not only in networking, but great things in life.
And Phil, that Bond-like story there and scene is a great message to end your fantastic podcast on. Thank you so much for being here today.
You're most welcome, Phil. No, not at all. It's been a pleasure, and good luck to everybody, whoever is going to hear from this, and I hope they take something positive from it.
My name is Phil Byrne, and I'd like to thank you for listening today. If you have any questions on anything you have heard in today's podcast, feel free to email your queries to podcasts@positivesparks.co.uk. We are an online advertising team who strive to help you thrive online. Want to know how pay-per-click marketing can be profitable for your specific business? Visit ppc.positivesparks.co.uk and sign up for your free ideas right now. Until next time, goodbye.